Hey guys, so I'm not sure about everybody else, but for me, one of the most frustrating experiences is walking out to your pasture to get your horse and the horse just walks away or runs in some cases. You know, you're excited, you want to go ride, maybe you have a trail ride planned with a friend, and your horse just does not want to be caught. It's deflating, it's frustrating, it's just not a fun feeling for the handler, and it's also not a great experience for the horse. The horse is communicating something very clearly to the handler, whether that be the owner, the rider, the trainer, doesn't matter who it is. They're communicating to them that they do not enjoy being around them or being caught is not fun for them. So I want to talk to you about some ways to change that experience for the horse and for yourself. But first, I want to address some of the common causes of why horses don't like to be caught. One of the first causes is pain during training. When your horse is experiencing pain, such as saddle fit or the rider's equitation, even if the rider's off balance constantly or pulls on the reins too much, those are all pain inflicting for the horse. So they may not enjoy the work that you're doing with them, so why would they want to be caught? Another reason might be that when they are caught, they're put into solitary confinement, into a stall environment that's very closed up, very dark, and stressful for them. Horses are not designed to be living in environments like that, so it's very difficult for them to adapt to it, and some horses do a lot better than others. Some horses actually enjoy coming into their stall, usually because the dinner time or breakfast is ready for them when they go back into their stall. So it's a conditioned response. However, for some horses, this isn't enough, and we need to address that factor as well. Another common cause is going to be stress during handling. So, if a horse is experiencing the use of a lot of pressure and punishment during handling and basic behaviors such as being tied up or groomed or being led around, if the horse dances around a lot and the handler feels the need to suppress that behavior through those types of training methods, the horse may be experiencing a lot of stress when interacting with humans, and so this will make being caught undesirable as well. Another cause for not wanting to be caught is something that we like to call being buddy sour. So it's when a horse experiences panic from leaving the herd and the herd mates. Horses are herd animals, they're social creatures, and they are designed to be very, very closely knit into a social community. And the idea of being left out of that community, whether it's being taken away or being pushed out, is extremely stressful for them. So it's a very unusual environment that we have them in where we take them to and from their herd, and it can be more stressful for some horses than others, but that can also be a reason that horses don't want to be caught. Now, I'm not going to be able to tell you how to fix all of those different problems in this video. However, I am going to give you some ideas and tips on how to make being caught more enjoyable for your horse. So what I'm going to be showing you in this video is something I call the catching game. It's a fun, non-stressful way to practice catching with your horse in a way that is really enjoyable for both of you guys. So what I'm starting off here doing is I'm just sitting. I'm sitting next to my horse pretty far away, and you're going to have to choose a distance that your horse is comfortable with. You want to only get as close to your horse as they will allow you to without moving away. So if my horse sees me, barely sees me, and starts moving away from me, then that's how far back I need to be. You don't want to be approaching your horse too close where they start moving away from you. The idea is that you're going to be training your horse to come to you. So as you can see, what I did is I just sat there and waited, and she turned and approached me. And when she did, I clicked and I rewarded her with a food treat. And I sat and I scratched on her for a little bit, and then I pretended to catch her by clipping on the lead rope. Now, technically, we could just walk away at this point, but what I want to do is show her that being caught doesn't mean she's automatically having to be whisked away for training. So there you saw I unclipped the lead rope, took a few steps away, and that was the catching game. So I do this repeatedly over and over again, and in the beginning I recommend not clipping on the lead rope, and if you don't have a halter on your horse, you're also not going to put the halter on your horse right away. You're going to wait until the horse starts coming closer to you or approaching you or even reaches you completely, and you're going to click and reward that effort on their part and make it fun and exciting for them, and then you're going to walk away. As your horse becomes more experienced with this, as you become more experienced with this, you can start clipping on the lead rope right away, but I recommend taking it off pretty quick. The idea is that you don't want your horse to feel trapped. You want this to be a positive experience for them, and then for them to know that they can walk away, that they don't have to be whisked off to training at this point, that this is a fun game where they're rewarded for coming up to you. Now here my filly River is showing us a prime example of how the catching game works. I've so heavily rewarded her coming to me and being willing to be caught that she came running from quite a few acres away. I could barely see her off in the distance. And when she got to me, I offered her my hand, which I won't talk about that in this video, but that's a hand target. I've trained her to touch my hand. And then I click and reward, and then I leave her be. I show her that that's a positive experience, that that's something that she wants to do, that she wants to be with me, and it doesn't always mean that work is coming. And so that is something that we've built up over time. So here you could see that I was allowing her to walk off and graze, and I just went over to the side and I sat down and I waited for her to come to me. When she did, heavily rewarded. That process goes over and over and over again. Here you can see I'm not clipping the lead rope on right away. I'm just sitting with her, rewarding her for being with me, letting her graze, showing her that coming to me doesn't mean we're taken away for training or taken away from her buddies. Now, I will say that if you're uncomfortable with being on the ground, standing up is completely fine. I started off with standing up. The only reason I'm squatting down is because I was prepared to be out there for an extended period. So that is definitely an option to squat down. I wouldn't recommend sitting all the way on the ground for safety purposes, but definitely squatting down is fine. So there you notice that I've clipped on the lead rope. I let her graze for a few minutes, then I unclipped and moved away. In a few minutes here, she's going to walk towards me, and I offer her the hand target. I reward her for coming to me, and I clip the lead rope on, and we pretend to walk away this time. And then here I actually unclip the lead rope and I leave her to continue what she's doing, and I walk away. In this next clip, we're going to be taking the catching game to the next level with an added level of difficulty. We're going to be asking the horse to allow a halter to be placed on, not just the lead rope. As you can see, I have the halter out and in clear view. I'm not hiding it. I'm not sneaking it around. I'm asking the horse to willingly approach me, knowing they are going to be caught. I'm heavily rewarding the horse for coming up to me and accepting the idea of being caught. And then I go to stand beside her, and I present the halter. Now what you want to do is start off by just placing the halter a little bit over the nose, or having the horse place their own head into the halter. That would be even better. But reward every time the horse allows the halter to be slipped up over their head. You're going to work up to having the halter fully placed on the head, and depending on the level of anxiety a horse experiences during having the halter put on, some horses are very nervous about being caught. You might take a while doing this. You want to make sure your horse is completely relaxed. That's the idea of this whole process, is to make this fun and rewarding for the horse. This is not a sneaky game. This is not a come here horse or else. This is a positive, fun experience for them. When your horse is completely relaxed and comfortable with having the halter placed over the head, you can put the strap over the top of the head and even proceed to buckle the halter. You might practice, though, just holding the buckle over the head for a few times and removing the halter, depending, again, on the horse's nervousness with having the halter placed on. So there you saw I asked her to take a few steps towards me, and then I'm going to remove the halter completely. I'm going to reward that effort on her part. I'm going to reward her being willingly caught by removing all restraints completely and allowing her to go back to what she was doing. Then I approached her again, and I asked her to come towards me, and she did, so I heavily rewarded, and we're going to go ahead and place the halter all the way on. This time, I'm going to keep the halter on, and I'm going to allow her to graze and go back to what she was doing while maintaining the halter and the lead rope presence and my presence. This shows her that I'm not just whisking her off to training and that this is a fun experience for her. And eventually I do ask her to walk off with me, but the idea is to make this a fun and positive experience for her and to show her that I'm not whisking her off to work just as soon as she has the halter and lead rope on. Now, like I mentioned, this is an added level of difficulty for most horses, and I don't recommend turning out your horses with their halters on. But you could practice this in a pen or a round pen or somewhere where you know the horse is going to be safe, and practice just clipping the lead rope on so they know that just because you're around doesn't mean that something bad's going to happen or something work related is going to happen. And then work up to working with the halter. If, however, you feel the need to leave a halter on your horse, please use one with a breakaway just in case the horse were to get caught. We want them to be safe and not get injured. All right, guys, one last tip for you is to be patient and be consistent. You know, if you're going to use the catching game, that is awesome, but don't switch up the program the very next day and punish your horse for not wanting to be caught. Just remember that when your horse is not wanting to be caught, they're communicating something to you. They're communicating that they're either feeling pain or stress or anxiety or something is going on in that brain or their body of theirs. So listen to what they're telling you, especially if your horse is normally easy to catch and all of a sudden one day they're not. They're telling you with a big flag that something is wrong. So it's a great way for them to be able to communicate and a great way for you to be able to show them that you're listening. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to comment those suggestions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.